possible. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Lows make it down to 8 above. Winds north-northwest, 5 to 15. Higher gusts remain possible. Thursday, an abundance of sunshine. Highs top out near 18. Winds stay north-northwest around 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear to partly cloudy skies, light winds. Lows fall back to 4 above. And then highs make it to 20 with lots more sunshine on Friday. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now it's 36.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning to you and welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, coming to you from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your residential and commercial real estate needs, give Linda a call at 989-295-7713. Let her go to work for you. She's located inside the Point at M46 and M47, the former ISD building, where you'll also find Cafe 476 and its delicious soups and foods and beverages. All right, here is the outline of the morning. Open lines this hour. And then at 10 o'clock after the news, we're going to be chatting with Brian Bachman, the chief meteorologist of WNEM-TV 5, who is heading out. He'll be leaving at the end of this week, and we'll be chatting with him about meteorology and his career and all those good things. That's coming up during the 10 o'clock hour. At 11 o'clock on Focus, the focus is on MyMichigan Health, and more on that later on. But as I said, for this hour, we will have open phones. By the way, the president, I guess in an attempt to recreate himself after his poll numbers have plummeted, will finally, instead of running away from it, have a press conference today, this afternoon. And it will happen after 3 o'clock on the Hannity show. And Sean Hannity has indicated that he will be jipping the press conference. That means joining in progress. So he will be carrying it. So you will hear it during the Hannity show here on WSGW. And since we have a caller waiting, let us go to the phones. Errol is on the line this morning. Errol, good morning. Morning, Errol.
Good morning. Is you going to have a nap before he has his press conference today?
He may be napping during it. I don't know.
This is not aimed at him. This is aimed at Lansing and all the politicians on both sides of that aisle. They're having a bathroom contest while it's sitting on a whole pile of federal money that everyone can use. I want them to get off their backsides, use the potty paper, and do it.
Yeah, well, they're not alone either.
Well, I know, but they got to play this bathroom contest, and they can't do what the hell they're being paid.
Well, you know what happened here is, that the federal government told them they didn't have to rush. They had till like 2024 or whatever the date is. So they take that as a sign that they can really take their time and really do it right, which we'll see.
Do you think all the people that are waiting for some help can wait for them to get their act together down there?
Nope.
That's
Nope.
all I got to say for today. And what?
Nope. That's it. That's good.
Okay.
All right,
I'll see you later. So bye.
Take care. Bye. That opens our lines. By the way, our number is 989-752-6111 in Saginaw Bay City. Everywhere else, too, realistically. There is a toll-free number in the state of Michigan, and that's 866-790-WSGW. However, most of the carriers have gotten away from charging roaming and long distance and all that. So it's pretty much a free call from almost anywhere. Unless you happen to be right near an airport using 5G Ultra, because the two biggies, AT&T and Verizon, have delayed turning on their 5G at airports within 2 miles of the airports because currently there are problems with the altimeters in the aircraft. certain aircraft. Apparently, the Boeing 777 is one of those that's susceptible. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, in bad weather, pilots have to make what's called an instrument landing. They don't even see outside the cockpit window because they're in the clouds. So they use their instruments to guide them to the runway from a both left and right position and an up and down position. In other words, the up and down position, are you on the glide slope? How far above the ground are you? And as you get closer, it starts ticking off your elevation. Verbally, you hear it in the cockpit. Well, these altimeters work on certain frequencies, and those frequencies are in close proximity to the frequencies used by 5G, the new 5G systems. And many of the carriers have put up towers near the airports. And there is a fear that these 5G signals will interfere with these altimeters. And that would not be a good thing if a pilot doesn't know how high he is off the ground and he's trying to land his airplane and can't see the runway. That's a difficult situation. Could falsely lead him to believe he's higher or lower than he is. And he'd have to abort the landing. So that in a nutshell, in very simplistic terms, is what this debate is all about. And the airlines have asked for a delay in the implementation of 5G. So far, the FAA has cleared 45% of the commercial fleet to fly into 5G zones. That means 55% haven't been cleared yet. That doesn't mean that they can't do it. It just means they haven't been cleared yet by the FAA. And this has been going on for several months now. This is not the first delay. This is probably the second or third delay, at least from Verizon and AT&T. In Europe, the system has been implemented without problem. But in Europe, there is a 5-mile protected zone around the airport runways in which they do not allow 5G towers. In the United States, it's been proposed that there should be a 2-mile buffer zone. But in Europe, they've had virtually no problems with 5G interference. Time will tell. To our phone, Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Hey, morning, Art. Hey, I wanted to continue with my theme of the Democratic Party here. And
I don't think you have another theme, do you?
Well, I don't think people want to talk about Jesus, though, so we'll stick with this theme for now. But as I look back, as we look back at 2016, now using their own testimony, James Comey, Peter Strzok, and Lisa Page, the FBI was disinformation about Donald Trump, trying to remove him as an elected sitting president. And now we're hearing more evidence now of Governor Whitmer here that the FBI very seriously might have been behind that whole plot, trying to coerce these idiots into kidnapping her.
No, come on. No, we're not going to get into those conspiracy theories, are we?
You need to listen.
Oh, jeez.
The guys have already overturned evidence. They've already overturned documentation and text messages from the FBI agent. January 6th, and the same thread is there. They're saying that FBI agents, people, come here. And now all of a sudden the pictures are removed from any place for us to ID them. No, these people are bad. They're bad people. This is testimony from their own mouth. We need to watch.
All right, listen, Scott.
And again,
you are welcome to your views and your opinions. And I'd be the last one to tell you no. I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but I understand your feelings and what you're using as your evidence. I just think we spend too much time on these conspiracy theories, and most of them never prove out.
But Art, they're not conspiracy theories.
No, yes, it is.
Hold on, Art. Who is this president attacking? He's not doing a damn thing to anybody around the world, but he sure in the heck is coming after every American that he can. No, these guys are not good for America. They are domestic terrorists. The FBI.
Well, hang on a minute. Joe Biden wasn't in power when Trump was.
Joe Biden was involved with this whole thing back from the collusion thing. He was part of it with the emails and text messages all the way back to Barack Obama. These guys all knew what was going on. They're sick. And we need to watch. I mean, just like the DOJ is going after innocent parents because they want to know what's taught in school. People killing our soldiers. They're not going after people who are attacking our embassies, but boy, oh boy, they sure do come after us. And I'm probably going to be in trouble here. The FBI agents hearing this, I could be on their radar now.
Come on now.
Speaking out against them.
No. Well, I'm not going to buy into that. I mean, you're welcome to your opinion, Scott, but I'm not buying into it.
Well, just pay attention to the hearings and watch what happens.
All right.
It panned out that we know that Comey and Strzok and all them were involved in that 2016
Okay.
debacle.
All right.
Art.
Fair enough. Good enough, Scott. Thanks. All right. We will take a quick break. Come back. When we get back, we'll chat with Chris in Midland. Let me talk about my insurance agent for a moment, Tom Cereski, who I've been dealing with for a number of years, and I've been an Allstate customer, which he represents since 1974. Happy with the company, even happier with my agent, because I can go in and talk to them, tell them my needs, and they listen, and then they provide me with the advice and the plans I need to fit my situation. And that's exactly what they'll do for you. And you can visit his agency anytime at 6185 Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw Township, or call Tom at 989-497-0300. I want you to remember that number, 497-0300, because Tom's agency right now is in search of 2 additional highly motivated full-time professional employees. The agency is up 26% again this year with no end in sight, creating an immediate need to increase the staff. No insurance experience is required for the right candidate. They'll train you. If you're a professional, goal-oriented, and self-driven person to excel and looking for a new career opportunity to work for an agency that cares for its clients, cares for its employees, update your resume and call Tom to schedule an interview today. Again, that number, 989-497-0300. You're in good hands with Allstate, even better hands with the Cereski agency. We'll be back right after these notes.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. It's in germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
On Wall Street, stocks are expected to try and recoup some of their losses from Tuesday's sell-off. Earnings reports out. Among the big banks reporting, Morgan Stanley.
Earnings per share came in better than expected. The adjusted number 208, we were looking for $1.91. Revenue slightly light, 14.52 billion. We were looking for 14.59 billion, but that's still a jump year over year, which is something that the street certainly looks at.
Fox's Cheryl Casoni. Inflation being felt in a lot of households around the world. National statistics from Britain show prices there rose at their fastest pace in 30 years in December. And housing starts rose unexpectedly in December, up 1.4% to a seasonally 1.7 million units last month. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Puerto Rico is the new go-to destination for investment opportunities, and Impeller is the new online tool that connects investors with innovative projects seeking capital on the island. Impeller takes the guesswork out of investing in Puerto Rico, surfacing the insights you need to make informed decisions and empower your investment portfolio. Visit investpr.org/impeller and set up your account today to see what the island has to offer. Impeller, your hub for investment opportunities in Puerto Rico. Powered by Invest Puerto Rico.
Oh, won't you stick with me, baby? I'm going to make a lot of bread. I mean both money and actual bread. But right now I need dough, cause my delivery truck's dead. And by dough, I mean money. Trucks don't run on bread.
Owning a small business isn't always as lovely as it sounds, but with personalized discounts that save you money, Progressive Commercial keeps you humming along. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
I need more dough. Need with an N. I need more dough. Need with a K.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states. Policy terms and conditions apply.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
Lionel Richie is going to be honored. The Library of Congress prize for popular song upon Lionel Richie.
Oh.
Is there a better musical story we could have this morning than this story?
Well, Charlie, it's funny that you say that because guess what? There is. If Lionel decides that he wants to play at Pine Knob, he'll be able to say he's playing at Pine Knob. Pine Knob is Pine Knob again.
Which is what everybody called it anyway.
Well, yeah,
The naming contract ran out.
Yeah, the naming contract ran out for your first Pine Knob concert.
Me, Jay Giles.
Dave?
It was a Motown act.
Oh, nice. I'm a little ashamed to name mine, but I went to 80s hairband night, and that was Dokken, Cinderella, and the headliner, Poison. Whoa!
Well, they Manilow there too.
Why, hey, Barry, that's all right.
It was one of the best concerts I ever saw in my life.
I bet.
At Pine Knob.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, break out the smelling salts. We've got another Biden presser to wade through. Robin's better get his essential oils to get him relaxed before he melts down.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Welcome back. The Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for this Wednesday morning, midweek. Nice to have you with us. Chris is in Midland Township. Chris, good morning.
Hi, Art.
Hi.
Forgive me. Would you reiterate what you talked about after Harold called? I wanted to chime in on the subject you touched on, and I apologize as the thought has evaporated from my head.
Me too. What did I talk about? Just a minute now.
I'm in the car and I couldn't write a note down.
What did I talk about? No, this was off the top of my head, so now I got to go back and put it back in my head again. Maybe one of the guys at the station can help me out here. Oh, the aircraft. I got it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
It was the 5G at the airports. Right.
Right. Okay. Why wasn't research done to figure out if this was going to be a problem or not? I don't believe the FAA would let.
Well, here's what happened.
Something like this occur. Go ahead.
You may remember last year and the year before that, there was big auctions of spectrum block. In other words, the frequencies that they use.
Right.
And one of those auction blocks that was bought up by the Verizons and AT&Ts of the world has a range of frequencies. And within that range of frequencies, apparently also are the frequencies that the radio altimeters use in aircraft. Not the same frequencies, not exact, But what they're concerned about is transient interference because the frequencies are close. And
when you get transmitters that are very close, you always run the risk of some kind of, even in a good transmitter, you're going to have a spur that goes way out of frequency.
Yeah, it's harmonics and things of that. Yeah.
Neighboring, yeah.
So the question is it a problem? They've cleared 45% of the commercial fleet to operate within that atmosphere. The other 55 haven't been cleared yet, and apparently Boeing 777s are, from what I read, I think susceptible to it. So the question then is, the question is, how big a buffer zone do they need? In Europe, they have a 5-mile buffer. In this country, 2 miles was proposed. Is it enough? I don't know the answer to that. Obviously, we're talking about human lives here because misinformation on an instrument approach can cause a crash, and nobody wants that. So they're going to have to come to terms with this somehow. I don't know what the answer is.
Like the effective radiated power of a cell tower. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what the rate.
Well, they're talking about. They talked about. I know Verizon had mentioned that they were going to lower the power, and apparently these antennas are directional. They can aim the beams down rather than up. Well, up is no good anyway. It doesn't do anybody any good. But apparently they can adjust the beams of these cell phone towers so that they go down.
That's
and
interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were directional, but they are apparently within a certain parameter. So it's yet to be seen what happens. Verizon and AT&T have delayed the onset at airports only. The rest of it's coming online. But the towers they built near the ends of runways at airports are the ones that are of concern. So that's to be seen what happens. We don't know yet.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Listen, thanks for calling. Take care. Bye-bye now. Rachel is in Bay City. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning.
Hey, I was calling in reference to Scott's call and discussing that the FBI was involved. And he stated the 3 examples of Gretchen Whitmer's kidnapping. We're going to call it the foiled kidnapping attempt or story, whatever. January 6th. And also the fake FISA BS that they pulled against Donald Trump over the Russian dossier lie. All 3 of those stories are true.
How do you know that?
And
How do you know that?
Absolutely not.
How do you know that?
I've read it and seen it in multiple places for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's absolutely true. It's not conspiracies. The only conspiracy he's talking about is literally our Department of Justice and FBI conspiring against the American people. Like, that's the truth, man.
Well, I'm not buying into it.
You haven't seen or heard these stories. It's absolutely true.
I'm not buying into it. Sorry. That's just me.
Crazy.
No, I'm not crazy.
I just want to come back him up because he's right on it.
All right. Fair enough.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye. Al is in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for inviting me into the conversation.
Sure.
Hey, to me, with these cell phone towers, it makes very little sense for me to have understand why they would allow the communication towers to be around the airport. Can't they place these somewhere else within that radius and not be in the path of the aircraft and not affect the aircraft?
Well, I think that's the discussion.
Far enough away?
That's the discussion. How far away is far enough away? Is it 2 miles? Is it 5 miles? And of course, the carriers will tell you that, in order to have uniform coverage, they need to have these towers every so often. And it's important to have coverage in airports, for example.
Right.
But if the European model works, then why not adapt it?
Right.
You know, and that's the way I look at it. If the European model works, and apparently it does, why not just adapt that over here? Why reinvent the wheel?
Right.
But that's not the way we do things. So,
But the European model, are they flying a lot of the Boeing aircraft, or are they using Airbus?
they use both. And besides, don't forget, American aircraft fly into Europe. It's not exclusive to European aircraft.
Right. Okay, but I'm not sure about the 5G, but the old 4G and the old cell phone
They didn't
networks had a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, they didn't impact though. And
Right.
what happened was, you have to remember that just a short time ago, a year or two ago, they had the big auction for all the spectrum.
Right.
And all of these frequencies were bought up for billions of dollars by these carriers.
What my point is with a 5-mile radius with the old system, the newer system is a lower power, like you said. I understand that. So I also understand that they have to have a closer proximity to each other tower, so that they, like you say, they have an entire grid that they can cover an entire area. I understand that, but why can't they find a better place than close to the airports? To me, you've got an aircraft landing and you're putting a tower near an airport. That's kind of dumb.
Well, no, they're not. They're not in line with the runway. I mean, you know, they're not elevated items that an airplane can hit. They're off on the sides. They're not at the runway, but they're close enough.
Aircraft do things that aren't normal, where they have to circle and do other things. And
yeah, but they don't. First of all, these towers aren't, you know, thousands of feet. I mean, these towers are, you know, maybe a couple of 100 feet. And an airplane that has to circle isn't going to be down at 200 feet. It's going to be up at 10,000 feet, you know, or 5,000 or whatever.
When you've got an aircraft close to the ground, Art, you know that when you have an aircraft close to one of the most dangerous areas for that aircraft, they have no way to recover, to climb fast enough, to get high enough to avoid an obstacle that's low to the ground.
Well, but there isn't going to be, Al, there are no obstacles to the runway. Nobody can build a tower at the end of a runway. They're not going to, and if they're on line to that tower, they're way off their mark anyway.
Okay.
They're in trouble, period. The towers are not sitting right in front of them.
Okay, but that was my concern.
Yeah, no, that isn't going to happen.
And one other thing, we're going to miss Brian Bachman, because he retired.
He's moving to another station within the company.
Yeah, but we're losing some of our experienced people that we trust for accuracy in weather. And I'm sure Channel 5 will be fine, but it takes a while to build that rapport with people that you trust to give weather. And
all right.
We, like I say, we're going to miss Brian.
Okay, I'll pass that on.
Reporting.
Al, I got to run. I'm out of time here.
Thank you, sir, and have a nice morning.
You
Bye
too.
now.
Bye-bye now. We'll take a break, come back with more. It's the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW.
Keep your vehicle running. Huge selection of automotive products. Quaker State Ultimate Durability Full Synthetic Motor Oil helps improve fuel economy while protecting against engine wear with superior performance at high and low temperatures. No other leading synthetic motor oil provides better protection from friction-related wear. Grab a quart for only $3.49 after sale price and $2 rebate. Good through January 23rd, right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard. Buying off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? The United States Mint branch in Denver has struck the Morgan Silver Dollar for the first time in 100 years. You can own a new Morgan Silver Dollar with the original iconic design, like the coins used in commerce during the Wild West. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 175,000 legal tender silver dollars were issued by the Denver Mint in 99.9% pure silver. These Morgan Silver Dollars are brand new, bright and shiny legal tender coins featuring the iconic iconic D mint mark. Just call 1-800-932-4635. And you are guaranteed an uncirculated mint condition Morgan silver dollar with the D mint mark. But with limited quantities, you must call now. 1-800-932-4635. If you order now, you'll receive a free collector bonus, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-932-4635 now to secure your Denver minted Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-932-4635.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. The bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
This is the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. I was just reading an article here. General Motors is going to offer a new online marketplace with 45,000 parts for sale, so that if you need to do some repairs to your car, your GM car, you can buy oil filters, engine and cabin air filters, batteries, brake pads, accessory belts, cooling hoses, windshield wiper blades, available for Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, and Cadillac. But the dealers are saying, wait a minute here. Because guess what? If I can buy it online, I don't buy it at the dealer. Cuts the dealer out of the deal. But GM's looking to add revenue from sales of software and services. Be able to buy your software updates and all of that good stuff right online. Paul is in Saginaw. Let's say good morning to Paul.
Morning, Art.
Morning.
I want to echo your previous caller there. I think that Brian Bachman's got the voice, look, and delivery. He nails it every time. And then you tell him he owes me a Bitcoin and a wooden nickel.
He'll get you the wooden nickel. Forget the Bitcoin.
Hey, them Bitcoins are worth some money now.
That's what I mean. Forget it.
You're right. But yeah, I'm going to miss him. He was really good newscaster.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, he's quality all the way around.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, that's all I had.
All right. Glad to mention.
Right, have a good one.
You bet. Bye-bye now. And I'll certainly mention it for those of you who didn't hear earlier. Brian Bachman, who is the chief meteorologist for WNEM-TV 5, is leaving to go to a facility in the Carolinas within the same company. And I think Friday is his last day. We'll double-check that with him. But he's going to be with me right after the 10 o'clock news. And you'll be able to watch us, by the way, because he's going to be streaming with me. So it's an opportunity to chat with Brian about his career and about meteorology and the weather and his new gig. All that coming up right after the 10 o'clock news here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW. Lines are open for you right now. You can give us a call. I mentioned earlier the president will be holding a press conference. And we've heard from Sean Hannity that he will be jipping it or covering it. He'll be presenting it, so you'll be able to listen to it during his show. Just about a year after he took office. And, while he made a lot of promises and wanted to do a lot, has a big agenda, a lot of it is stalled. And it'll be interesting to see how this press conference goes, because he's not really adept at these press conferences. And it will be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Let's take a look at some of the promises that he made. We were going to reach a semblance of normalcy by Christmas 2021, talking about COVID. That promise is broken. Delta, then Omicron came along and start all over again. Provide Americans with 1 billion home tests. That's in progress. We'll give him that one. Provide 100 million vaccine shots to American in his first 100 days. In progress, because I don't think he met the deadline. Safely reopen a majority of K through 8 schools and keep them open. Accomplished in some areas, not so much in others. Pass a $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. That he did. On the climate, rescind the Keystone XL oil pipeline permit. Unfortunately, he kept that promise. Ban new oil and gas leases on federal lands and offshore waters. He broke that promise, actually, because they have proposed reforms to that bidding process. Roll back President Donald Trump's tax cuts to the corporate tax rate. He hasn't done that. Pause federal student debt payments. That he did do. Ordered a review of the U.S. supply chains. He did that. Immigration, raise refugee caps to 125,000, up from 15,000 set by Trump. Not even close. 62,000 is where he got to. And some other items in his agenda. Some of them done, small ones, and some of the big ones, of course, not happening. It'll be an interesting press conference today. See how I'm curious how the press goes after him, as they've done others. That'll be what's interesting to see. Let me take a moment to talk to you about my friends at Thalen, the Thalen Auto Group of dealerships, all together up on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. You've heard me talk about their great lineup of automobiles. And remember that every time they sell one of their new vehicles, more than likely, they're taking in a pre-owned vehicle. And they inspect that vehicle, bring it up to their standards before it goes on the lot. They also scour the market for additional cars meeting their exacting standards. And what that means for you is that the Thalen Auto Group in Bay City is your one-stop shop for fully inspected used vehicles. Hundreds of them to choose from on Euclid Avenue at the various dealerships, all side by side. More selection than any other location in the Tri-Cities. You can also shop certified pre-owned vehicles from Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, Mazda, Honda, Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. So why spend days going around from dealership to dealership to find a good selection when you can stop at one place, see all the vehicles you need to look at, or better yet, you can go online and see the Thalen inventory at thinkthalen.com. The Thalen Auto Group on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether White, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Get Upside app and get 25 cents per gallon cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. Don't miss out. Millions of people have earned over $200 cash back every month just by using Get Upside and getting gas, which you were going to do anyways. There's no catch. It's simple and free. Side app now and use promo code HYBRID to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's promo code HYBRID.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting your cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com right now for free screening resources and recommendations from the American Cancer Society. Don't wait. Early detection can save your life. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com today. cancerscreeninfo.com.
Hi, this is. You can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. And Alan is in Saginaw Township. Alan, good morning.
Morning, Art.
Morning.
Totally different topic from the
Yeah.
spring's doing so far. And that is the impending shutdown of the 3G wireless network, of course. I guess we're pretty much all aware that 3G goes away on, I believe, February 22nd.
Something like
what I'm
that.
reading.
Yeah.
And but something that a lot of people may not know. There's a big notice, a big article in Consumer Reports yesterday. Seen yet, but that they emailed me, and has to do with the shutdown giving you a lack of access to your OnStar features. In other words,
Oh, really?
basically the crash notification.
No kids. That 3G then? That's 3G based?
It is on everything up to about 2019.
I wonder if General Motors is going to offer a software update on that.
I can tell you about that. They have it's a great article, and they go brand by brand. And here's GM, including Buick, Cadillac, Chevrolet, GMC, OnStar. GM brand vehicles using OnStar on a 3G network will require a software update by February. It just says February here, but the actual date of conversion of the system, just the end, literally the end date of 3G is February 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Software update by February of 2022. Owners can check whether the vehicle is affected on this website. There's a link. You can go to a website to see if your particular vehicle is going to be affected. According to OnStar, owners with an active connected vehicle will receive an over-the-air software update. These updates began in October of 21, and owners...
Is that automatic?
Well, you have to accept a prompt on the vehicle's screen to install the new software. Once the over-the-air software update is completed, OnStar voice services will continue to work after the 3G sunset, and members will be able to connect with OnStar advisors as expected. OnStar spokesman. So on February 22nd, if people use OnStar for their as a cell service, that goes.
Yeah, I think people with the old flip phones and things like that may be finding themselves out of service too.
Well, yes. I know that our friends have an older phone, and they got a notice from their service, and they were literally given a new phone so that they could continue. But this affects not just, this gets real complicated, but they have a listing of all the various manufacturers.
Yeah, they all have their own versions.
They have their own versions, yes. Some are clones of OnStar, I suppose, and so on. And I spent 2 hours on the phone with OnStar yesterday, which didn't work. I went up 5 levels, and they don't agree with each other. They can't tell me if it's going to stop working or not as far as the service that I have for the crash, and where you call if you need road service or whatever.
Sure, right.
Can't tell me for sure. The 5 levels I got yes, no, and yeah. So, and they were even calling me back saying, we gave you bad information earlier.
Oh, that's cool.
So they're not up on this. But, and again, it depends on the brand of vehicle and so on. But the upgrades have to be performed while 3G is still working.
Yeah.
And if the 3G deadline passes, then you can't even upgrade the features. And some of them, they say it'll take right here. Some of them have to have new hardware, which it costs as much as $900.
Ooh.
So
yeah, now we're in a different zone when you got to start buying new hardware.
Yes, and so this is a very complex deal.
Yeah,
and it varies by manufacturer and whatever service they're using. So,
glad you brought it to our attention.
So I just want people to be aware that this is in the offing.
All right. Thanks for calling now.
Oh, one last.
Real quick, because I got to take a break. I'm real late.
On the 3G, I understand Europe uses a lesser powered system.
And
on
the 5G.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the 3G.
All right.
On the 5G.
We're going to have to talk about it later because I have to run. All right. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye now. We'll be back to close out the hour after this.
Grab your silk top hat and your best flapper dress and foxtrot the night away with the Disability Network of Mid-Michigan at Feathers and Fedoras, a Roaring 20s gala benefiting independent living programs for people with disabilities. Saturday, February 12th. Enjoy delicious food, dance to the music by Stone Street Revival, find Lady Luck at the casino, pick a speakeasy for Giggle Waters. Tickets are $50 per person. RSVP at www.dnmm.org/FAF. Feathers and Fedoras. Saturday, February 12th at Horizons Conference Center in Saginaw.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Players Lounge at the Bay Valley Resort. You're going to get a $20 gift certificate for only $10. Their appetizers include fried zucchini, chicken wings, and please don't sleep on their bacon-wrapped shrimp. You can also get burgers, their smokehouse chicken sandwich, and fish and chips. No matter what mood you're in, they've got you covered. Do yourself a favor and head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll for your political preference. With the understanding there are more political affiliations in these United States than just Democrats and Republicans. Last year, the U.S. Gallup survey indicated more adults identified as Democrats over Republicans. At the end of 2021, more adults were identifying as Republicans than Democrats. Overall, though, the largest percentage of adults identify as independents. So the whole question is, how would you respond in January 2022 if you were asked your political preference? Would you say you're a Democrat? Would you say a Republican? Would you say an independent? Or would you say other? We want to know what you would respond. How would you designate yourself? Head to WSW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the online poll box, and you can make your vote that way. And again, we'll see if maybe this indicates some party preferences when it comes to actual voting that takes place at times this year.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, that'll do it for this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We thank you for your participation and thanks for listening. Coming up in the next hour after the news, Brian Bachman, Chief Meteorologist, WNEM-TV 5, will be with us. On video, by the way, you'll be able to watch us and talk about his career. He's moving on within the company to one of the Carolina stations in Greenville, I think. We'll talk to him about that, too. Meantime, stick around. News is next here on WSGW.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios.
This is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
The
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
Yes, the Biden administration is making a new move today to slow down Omicron-fueled COVID cases. CBS's Stacey Lynn is in Washington.
400 million N95 masks will be distributed in the coming weeks at thousands of local pharmacies and community health centers nationwide. As COVID cases continue to surge across the country, many hope this will help slow it down. Janice Marin works in the healthcare industry in the Washington, D.C. area.
Having access to these free N95 masks are going to be game-changing.
Yesterday, the White House announced free COVID testing kits for people who sign up online. New 5G internet is here, and airline cancellations could be imminent. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve is at the airport in Denver.
Even one senior FAA official told me they expect there to be some, quote, bumps today and in the days ahead. And where I think you'll see this play out most clearly, the next time there's a big severe weather event like a big winter storm, airlines are going to be forced to cancel flights earlier and likely cancel flights for a longer period of time.
Aviation industry experts say the new technology could interfere with systems that help pilots land in bad weather. A legal agreement and a large-scale sex assault lawsuit. CBS's Jim Krasula.
The University of Michigan has agreed to a nearly $500 million settlement with hundreds of people assaulted by a former sports doctor at the school. More than 1,000 will share in the settlement. Dr. Robert Anderson died in 2008 after working at the school from 1966 until he retired in 2003.
New York State's top prosecutors going after former President Trump's businesses again. CBS's Anne-Marie Green.
Attorney General Letitia James accused the Trump Organization of allegedly misrepresenting the value of its properties and golf clubs to acquire loans and tax breaks.
James has filed court papers requesting Donald Trump Jr. and his sister Ivanka be questioned under oath. Secretary of State Blinken is meeting with government officials in Ukraine today to Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov.
I hope they will continue the diplomatic and political negotiations, and I hope they will not come through our border.
If Russia does invade, Secretary Blinken promises the U.S. will allocate even more aid to Ukraine. When it comes to savings, only about 4 in 10 of us have enough to cover surprise expenses like car repairs or ER visits. And bank rates, Greg McBride says it's an improvement.
Just 44% of Americans are able to cover an unplanned $1,000 expense from savings. That's actually the best that we've seen in 8 years of polling.
The Dow is up 128 points. This is
Looking for quality candidates this new year? Look no further than Indeed. Our new video interview tool takes the hassle out of virtual hiring. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Frosty frogs, icy elephants, gleaming dragons. Celebrating 31 years of winter with shining sculptures of sparkling horses, glossy penguins, and shimmering bears. Get ready to be dazzled when Snowfest returns to Frankenmuth January 26th through the 30th. Zender's Snowfest 2022 will once again dazzle and excite you with sculptures created by professional ice and snow carvers from this area and around the country. In addition, there's entertainment for the whole family of food, refreshments, a fireworks display, petting zoo, and children's activities. Plus the All Things Chocolate Recipe Contest in the warming tent on Wednesday, January 26th. Bring the family and enjoy larger-than-life snow sculptures and the beautifully detailed ice carvings at Zender's Snowfest, January 26th through the 30th in Frankenmuth. Get more information on the web at zenders.com. Brought to you by great folks at T-Mobile, Meyer, Covenant Healthcare, Beerline Companies, Miller Lite, Apple Mountain, and Northwood University.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now by the power vested in me, go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Anyways, fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 35 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A sergeant with the Genesee County Sheriff's Department who crashed her patrol vehicle is looking at possible charges. Police say the sergeant, a 14-year veteran, crashed at I-475 and Massachusetts Avenue on January 8th. The sergeant blew a 2.0 on a breathalyzer test. She also had a department-issued handgun and a personal handgun in the vehicle at the time of the crash. She's been suspended from the department without pay and is on 160 hours.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Doing well. Glad to see you're up.
Yeah, good to be up. Have to get used to getting up earlier now.
Yeah. All right. We'll be with you in about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Cool.
I shut the video off when we're not on, so don't worry.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Talk to you.
Retirees' pension. In 2009, the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation cut the pensions of 20,000 retirees across the country, with more than 5,000 of those in Michigan. Some of the salaried retirees of Delphi, which eventually became Next Year, lost up to 70% of their benefits. Kildee expressed his disappointment in a release, saying it's now time for Congress to act to ensure those retirees receive the benefits they've earned. The Bay Area Community Foundation has awarded a grant to a volunteer amateur radio group to connect emergency communication networks. The Central Michigan Emergency Network was given $3,400 and install equipment linking the Bay County Emergency Center to the CMEN My6WAN Emergency Communications Network. The completion of the Bay EOC microwave expansion project has not only benefited Bay County Emergency Services, but also citizens of Bay County, as it will provide, in the case of a natural or man-made emergency, the means for amateur radio operators at the Bay County Emergency Center to communicate using voice and digital modes to Bay County emergency amateur radio operators in the field using portable or handheld stations. WSGW News Time 10:07.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain.
Was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis, doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. A Michigan professor who was suspended after making a provocative video for his students is threatening to file a lawsuit if Ferris State University does not lift the sanction. An attorney for Barry Miller warned the school in a letter Tuesday. Matthew Hoffer says the history teacher is protected by the First Amendment and a contract between. Miller's 14-minute video at the start of a new term was peppered with profanities and unusual remarks about grades, plagiarism, and classroom attendance during the COVID-19 pandemic. Ferris State President David Eisler says he was shocked and appalled at the video. Miller has been placed on leave. A recently released report from the state's Auditor General identified nearly 2,400 additional COVID-19 deaths linked to long-term care facilities over an 18-month period than what the state reported. Governor Gretchen Whitmer says the actions implemented by her administration saved lives.
There's no discrepancy here. The numbers are by the long-term care facilities. The Auditor General's report says that the state's data was accurate. I encourage everyone to actually read it.
Her handling of the nursing homes during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic has been a key point of disagreement with GOP lawmakers. A statement from the health department says it had serious concerns about the methodology used and worried if it misinterpreted the integrity of the departments. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW. We'll see a few spotty flurries possible late today. Otherwise, cloudy sky conditions. Temperatures steady early, then slowly fall throughout the day. Breezy west winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions. We'll see a low around 9 above. By Thursday, partial sunshine develops, a high of 18 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly sunny skies and a high around 21. Saturday, partial sunshine develops, a high of 25 degrees. Then by Sunday, partial sunshine, a high of 21. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 34.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome to another edition of hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show for this Wednesday morning. As promised, the chief meteorologist of WNEM-TV 5 is about to pull up stakes and head east, and he is with us this morning. And we are very pleased to say good morning to a man who is sitting in a chair, not in front of a green screen, not talking about the weather.
Very true.
But with us this morning, we say good morning to Brian Bachman. Brian, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you here. I guess since we've talked about it, we need to start with the end, and that is the fact Friday is your last day at TV5. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, Friday will be my last day here at TV5. Hard to believe. Been there for almost 8 years. Not sure where all the time went.
No, and you talk about the luck of the draw because you came, and 1 year later you were chief meteorologist.
It's very true. It was a rapid change first year. I started as the new guy on a weather team, and pretty much everybody cycled out. Yeah, within that first year.
So, what brought you to meteorology?
Really, it's been something that I always wanted to do. I kind of knew really early on. Really since I was probably, honestly, about 10 years old. Always just kind of had a fascination with it. I'd be watching the Weather Channel a ton. When I was a kid, I always say, I was never a Saturday morning cartoon kid. I was a Saturday morning Weather Channel kid. And my dad can attest to that. While he was reading the paper on Saturday mornings on the couch, I'd be sitting there watching them go through, their hourly cycle 2 or 3 times. Just always something that really kind of fascinated me. Parents, kind of, I think, took a little bit of that to heart. Took me to the library a ton when I was a kid, checking out books all the time, and just kind of watched more and more from there and developed that interest and decided that was what I wanted to do.
I want to talk a little bit about the science of meteorology because I don't think many people realize what's involved, how good you have to be in math, for example, and things of that nature. And having gone through engineering myself, I understand all this. But it's a lot more than just looking at a computer model and saying, okay, it's going to rain.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about meteorology and the science of meteorology.
Sure. Well, like you said, a lot of math. You got to be ready for that. If you're looking to go to a school for that, get your degree in meteorology, it is a lot of math. Something that, admittedly, I was never terribly good at. So it was a little bit of a struggle point for me going through school. But, as far as the science itself, you're right. It's not just as simple as sitting down, looking at a computer screen and popping out a forecast. It's, the science has modernized so much where from specifically a forecasting side of things, there are so many, various simulations run by, both the U.S. National Weather Service, the European Weather Agency, all around the globe. And so, a lot of it is looking at, several different computer simulations on a day-to-day basis, forecast models. You'll usually hear us refer to those sometimes in our broadcasts. But, they're just like people. Very rarely do you get all the computer models aligned and agreeing on a simple solution based on what they see. So that's where, the human component comes into it. You have to, take everything that you learn throughout the course of your education, everything from, basic meteorology, how air moves, how air lifts through the air, how it cycles all throughout the atmosphere, and then kind of take that knowledge that you've acquired and apply it to what you think is the best solution out of everything you're looking at. It may be kind of a blend of two different solutions. Some of that is just, having local knowledge. If you live in a state like we do here in Michigan, that this time of year, if you get a cold wind coming off of Lake Michigan, you're going to get lake effect snow. And sometimes, the computers might not be as good at seeing that, but you have, local knowledge telling you that there's a good likelihood of that.
That brings up the question, how much of it is science and how much of it is art?
Yeah, I would say, 50-50 is probably the easy answer, but, I would say
that's the weatherman's answer, 50-50 chance.
Realistically, I would put it at more 80-20. It's very much rooted in the science. You got to know that. You got to kind of know how to read what you're looking at. But yeah, sometimes it is also just making a gut call.
So let me ask you this, and you weren't doing this 20 years ago. You're not old enough. But if I got a forecast 20 years ago compared to a forecast today, how far out can you claim accuracy as opposed to the old days?
It's definitely gotten a lot better. Most 7-day forecasts, you can expect a lot more accuracy, certainly than, to your point, you would have about 20 years ago. But I would say still to this day, things are most accurate. We are most confident 3 to 4 days out. You always I've always at least done it, where you always kind of go into it expecting days. If it's a 7-day forecast, you expect day 5, 6, and 7 to have more variability. You're not just winging it. We're not just, throwing darts at a dartboard and hoping it works out. We're still making the best forecast based off of what we see. But as you extrapolate farther out in time, there's just more room for variability before you get there. So, that's why accuracy does diminish a little bit over time, but much better, of course, compared to 20 years ago.
Yeah, and that's probably why when we see the 7-day forecast up on the screen and the temperatures at days 5, 6, and 7, come back 2 days later, you see the same days, but the temperatures have varied.
Right, exactly.
So, all right, hang on. We're talking to Brian Bachman, chief meteorologist, for at least for a couple of days, of WNEM-TV 5 before he moves to the Carolinas. We'll talk about that too, and other questions. And if you have any comments for Brian, we can take some calls at 989-752-6111, toll free in Michigan, 866-790 WSGW. We will be back right after these notes.
Friday, January 21st at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Air Supply. A timeless song. In the world, Air Supply with special guest Orleans. Tickets start at $33. On sale now at the Soaring Eagle and Eagles Landing box offices or online at etix.com. Endless memories. Air Supply and special guest Orleans. I want to be your partner. Ladies, it's date night. Friday, January 21st at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Air Supply with special guest Orleans. Tickets on sale now. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
It could be in retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here always giving you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
On Wall Street, stocks are expected to try and recoup some of their losses from Tuesday's sell-off. Investors watching a spate of earnings reports out. Among the big banks reporting, Morgan Stanley.
Earnings per share came in better than expected. The adjusted number 208, we were looking for $1.91. Revenue slightly light, $14.52 billion. We were looking for $14.59 billion, but that's still a jump year over year, which is something that the street certainly looks at.
Fox's Cheryl Casoni. Inflation being felt in a lot of households around the world. National statistics from Britain show prices there rose at their fastest pace in 30 years in December. And housing starts rose unexpectedly in December, up 1.4% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.7 million units last month. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Puerto Rico is the new go-to destination for investment opportunities, and Impeller is the new online tool that connects investors with innovative projects seeking capital on the island. Impeller takes the guesswork out of investing in Puerto Rico, surfacing the insights you need to make informed decisions and empower your investment portfolio. Visit investpr.org/impeller and set up your account today to see what the island has to offer. Impeller, your hub for investment opportunities in Puerto Rico. Powered by Invest Puerto Rico.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
Detroit restaurant just closed abruptly. Michael Simon's Roast Restaurant in the Weston Book Cadillac closed. Highly rated. Number one. Mentioned, by the way, the cheapest steak was about $100. Well, that should have that
having some impact. Yeah.
That's the circle of friends at art.
Yeah, exactly. He's not taking me there.
Dave and Pat and Shirley, we're over
Never
at
been
McDonald's.
there.
We're at
Never been there. I've
No.
never been there either.
No.
I've never been there either.
But you know people who have been there.
Yes, that I do. The other reason is you would never spend $100 on a steak. So.
50, maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
100, I don't think so, yeah.
So does that include the sides or?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Better at least that come with an Iron City beer next to it.
Then maybe it's worth $100.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and our guest this hour, Brian Bachman, who is the chief meteorologist at WNEM-TV 5, getting ready to move on to another station within the same company. Is that right, Brian?
That's correct. Yep. So we're keeping it in the family. It's Gray Television. They actually
Which is a new family.
What's that?
It's a new family.
A new family, but yeah, still
Same
connected.
old-
Of
yeah.
course. Yeah, same company. Yep,
Family
it'll be-
name changed.
Yep. Exactly.
And
Yeah,
where
Gray
is the
Television, and yeah, it'll be WNEM TV 5 to Fox Carolina in Greenville.
And you know your shift yet?
I do. Actually, I'm doing a little bit of a flip. I'm actually going more to the morning side of things. And so I have to start getting used to adjusting myself to, going to bed earlier and therefore getting up earlier. They actually have a 5.5-hour morning show that they do.
Wow.
Down in Greenville. And the way they traditionally do it when they have a full weather team of 4 is the 2 morning meteorologists, they kind of split the show. The first one does about 3.5 hours of the show, and then another one kind of swaps in just to keep people as fresh as possible. So I'll actually be starting by doing basically the second half of the show. I'll be checking in. The show runs from 4:30 in the morning until 10 a.m. So I'll be checking in at 8 o'clock to start that.
And because it's a new territory for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn a whole bunch of new counties and new names and all kinds of info. Have you done it yet?
I've been slowly doing that. I've already kind of printed out some maps of the area, highlighted what's going to be in our broadcast zone, and slowly trying to commit some of those county names and town names and everything to memory. Yep.
Same software?
Yes. Yeah. So at least we'll be similar, actually, same system and similar, actually, graphic style to the one we have at TV5. So that at least will be, pretty much a seamless transition.
So I have to ask, and being in the industry as long as I have, which is forever, what made you make the move?
Really just, as it kind of popped up, I just thought it presented a good, growth opportunity. I've had great opportunities, grateful for the chances I've been given here at TV5, thinking way back to 2015 when I first got promoted to, chief. Grateful to the managers at the time. I was still a 28-year-old guy, barely having just started my second full-time job in TV. And, they were willing to take a chance on me as a chief. And I'm grateful to have had the chance to learn over that, nearly 7-year period now. And so, I think it was just a combination for growth. Greenville, is a bit of a bigger market, than the Saginaw Tri-Cities area currently is.
But it's a multiple city market, just like this one, isn't it?
Yes, actually, it's the combined Greenville-Spartanburg area. They kind of make up a larger combined, somewhat metro area. You have Asheville, North Carolina. If anyone knows of their vacations there, that's actually in the northern half of what'll be my new viewing area. So that's really what it came down to. Also, a chance to try some new weather challenges. I'll trade in the lake effect snow for potentially some tropical systems.
Yeah. Except the fact that they've laid out, as you mentioned, the white carpet for you, the communication we
So
had.
true. I said last weekend on Facebook, if anyone thinks I'm leaving Michigan or leaving winter behind entirely when I leave Michigan, clearly not the case. They got walloped pretty good. I think they actually had a daily snowfall record in Greenville with that winter storm last weekend.
Which brings up the question, are weather patterns changing? The East Coast has been walloped in the last, dozen years or so. Is that a change in the weather pattern? And is it climate change?
I believe yes. To kind of get it down to the most basic point, when you have an atmosphere that's warming overall, a warmer atmosphere, warmer air can just hold more water. We've seen, I think, two very big examples of how climate changing, a warming climate, is leading to that potential for more extreme weather events. We, of course, had two near historic and then a historic flood, back from 2017, and then, of course, the flood that triggered the dam failures in 2020. Both of those floods were brought on by 7-8-inch rainfall events over a very localized area. And to think that prior to that, the biggest flood that we had ever had was back in 1986. And then you have one similar and one bigger, flood event 3 years apart. And the same thing, I think, is showing its signs more and more in different ways, where we, have seen our own examples of stronger, more intense rain events here in Michigan. And you talk about how, it seems like the East Coast gets hit a lot harder with much bigger snowfall events now. Flip side of that is the increased warming also affects areas like out west, where you're seeing those wildfires on, such an extreme level that we've seen over the last few years.
Has it impacted our winters here in Michigan? It seems to me, when I came here in 1974.
Mm-hmm.
And as it happened, I flew into Chicago and they had to bus me up here because of a major winter storm that had closed the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And year after year after year, we had significant snows. It seems to me, and this just may be a perception,
mm-hmm.
that we get less snow now than we did 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and that our winters aren't as severe as they were back then. Am I misreading that, or is it true?
No, I think you're certainly right about that. I think that is true. And in fact, back last month, we had actually done our winter weather special. If anyone of your listeners happened to watch that, that was actually a topic that Chris Eastlick tackled. He kind of asked that exact same question. A lot of folks ask pretty often, are winters as bad as they used to be 20, 30 years ago? And he just broke it down by the numbers, compared, average snowfall per month per winter, average temperatures per month per winter, things like that. And just about every category that he came up with was showing things were trending warmer in our winters overall over the last 20 to 30 years, and things are trending less snowy overall. So, the perception does appear to be spot on.
Because I know that you talk to horticulturalists, for example, our growing zone has increased one number. We can now grow plants that need a slightly warmer climate, and we've apparently moved into that zone now. And it just seems to me that it's a different type of weather pattern we're seeing. But we're also seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, these vortexes coming out of Canada seem to be blasting us every now and then, more than they did before.
Yeah, and that's the other side of it. It's easy when you talk about climate change. So much of it is focused on the warming aspect. The thing you kind of have to keep in mind is that the way the atmosphere works in general, the whole reason we have weather in the first place is because the atmosphere collectively is trying to get to a sense of equilibrium basically all the time. And it works that out through storms, it works it out through changes in temperature. And so when you get these more extreme warms, at least in the interim, you have to get some more extreme colds to try to balance that out. And that's exactly kind of why we've seen the pattern that we've even seen just here over the last few weeks. We go from a day like yesterday where it was a little bit milder, we get a couple degrees above freezing, but then you get a day like today and the next few where we, dive right back into wind chills in the single digits, temperatures in the teens and single digits. And, so at least for a bit, it's the whole back and forth balancing act that the atmosphere tries to do. But the concern is that overall, even with those more extreme cold events coming in from time to time, the overall average is that things are tending to get warmer regardless.
We have a caller who I don't think you're going to be able to help weather-wise because he's not here, and nor is he in Carolina. It's Bob in Nashville, Tennessee. Bob, good morning to you.
Morning, Art. I have a question for
Brian?
the meteorologist.
Yeah.
And that has to do with this European model versus the American model. Which is the most accurate, and how did they come up? What's the story with the two models?
When you look at which one is more accurate, it really depends on what you're looking at. If you look at the usual American model, sometimes you'll hear us call it the GFS model, for example. That model does particularly well, we've seen, with tropical systems. So hurricanes, tropical storms, it tends to forecast those very well. The European model, in just my observational experience, it tends to do better with things. It does a little better with snow events, actually, especially here in the Great Lakes. None of them are perfect, certainly, but as far as overall accuracy, which one's more accurate, I think that's tougher to say. But if you look at kind of more some specific things, they tend to do better with others.
I see.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling, Bob. Bye-bye now. So what'd you do before computers? Well, you weren't around before computers.
No, I got in during the computer age in meteorology. Yeah.
But it was a different ball game back then, wasn't it?
It was. I've worked with, before I came to Michigan, actually, I did a couple of years in Albany, New York. And I worked at the ABC affiliate there. Chief meteorologist there is a man named Steve Caparizzo, who pretty much I consider him my mentor. He's been in that market for 30 years now, actually, a little over 30 years. and hearing the stories from him, about how used to come across on teletype machines.
Yep.
We can just pull up all the different forecast models we want on a few tabs on our, internet browsers now. They used to have to wait for the Weather Service to put out an entire large plot. It was a huge piece of paper, if you're familiar with a teletype machine. And they had to wait for the weather maps that we look at on a computer to be printed out long form so they can get their observations that way and then build their forecast off of all of that. That's just one thing that always kind of comes to mind.
You'd actually have to look from map to map to map to see the changes.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it was almost like a flip book. You'd have to kind of put them apart and then see how things were moving. Yeah.
All right, hang on, Brian. We're going to take a break and be back. We're talking to Brian Bachman, WNEM-TV 5's chief meteorologist for another 3 days. And then he moves on to Greenville, Carolina, and we'll miss him, but we'll be back with Brian right after these notes here on WSGW. And let me take a moment to talk to you about Tom Cereski and the Swareski Agency, who's been my insurance agent for a long time, represents Allstate, and his agency is located at 6185 Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw Township, or you can call him at 989-497-0300. But the reason I want to talk to you about him right now is Tom's agency is in search of 2 additional highly motivated full-time professional employees. The agency is up 26% again this year with no end in sight, creating an immediate need to increase his staff. No insurance experience is required for the right candidate. You will be trained. If you're professional, goal-oriented, and self-driven to excel and looking for a new career opportunity to work for an agency that cares about its clients and its employees, then update your resume and call Tom to schedule an interview today at 989-497-0300. You're in good hands with Allstate, even better hands with the Cereski Agency. And we will be back after these notes.
Peoplebygovernment.com. Have you heard? The United States Mint branch in Denver has struck the Morgan Silver Dollar for the first time in 100 years. You can own a new Morgan Silver Dollar with the original iconic design, like the coins used in commerce during the Wild West. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 175,000 legal tender silver dollars were issued by the Denver Mint in 99.9% pure silver. These Morgan Silver Dollars are brand new, bright and shiny legal tender coins featuring the iconic D Mint mark. Just call 1-800-932-4635. And you are guaranteed an uncirculated mint condition Morgan Silver Dollar with the D Mint mark. But with limited quantities, you must call now. To learn more, call 1-800-932-4635. If you order now, you'll receive a free collector bonus, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-932-4635 now to secure your Denver minted Morgan Silver Dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-932-4635.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting your cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com right now for free screening resources and recommendations from the American Cancer Society. Don't wait. Early detection can save your life. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com today. cancerscreeninfo.com.
I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than normal.
Jen's manic pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deirdre's not coming in today, but we have that whole bachelorette.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You can hear about the cultural contributions and concerns of the Hispanic community in the Great Lakes Bay region on one of WSGW's new public affairs programs. I'm Larry Rodarte, publisher of Mi Gente magazine, and I'm inviting you to join us for Mi Gente On Air PM.
Broadcasting from the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Brian Bachman, the chief meteorologist, WNEM-TV 5, about to move on to Greenerville pastures.
Well played.
I have to ask this question. I'd be remiss if I didn't. Have they named a chief at TV5 to replace you yet, or will they?
Not to my knowledge. Those
You're out of the loop already, huh?
Yes, seems that way. No, I don't know who will be taking my place after I'm gone, but happy to say I'm leaving behind a good team, so you'll definitely still be in good hands either way.
I was thinking about that team, and Matthew Mondo, who's the newest member of the team, he got the job before he even got his degree. I mean, he was still in the last part of his degree before he walked into a job. He was a lucky young man.
Yeah, and not only that, he had some pretty wild, big experiences in his first, even in his first 6 months. The two big ones that come to mind, with me, were back over the summer. He got to be a part of our severe weather coverage twice. That one in June, that is, where we had the few tornadoes. Unfortunately, the one that, of course, hit the Port Austin area. And then that second round in July, where we had a few hit Genesee County. We had the funnel cloud go directly over Saginaw. For his first 6 months, he had a lot thrown at him, and he dove right in. Had no trouble being a part of things.
So let's talk about that for a minute. Why tornadoes all of a sudden? I mean, it's rare to get a tornado in Michigan. It's not Tornado Alley. And all of a sudden we have a bunch. Has something changed?
Going back to what we were talking about before, I think about how climate change starts to kind of show a role in different things. Warmer climate, more energy, in the warm season for things like severe weather. You just get the right conditions. Of course, while last year was a particularly active year, the year prior actually was relatively quiet, for severe weather. I'm not sure we had anything beyond what was later discovered as a brief spin-up tornado in 2020. But yeah, then to kind of jump into a year like last year where, I think the fact that it was another unseasonably warm year overall and an unseasonably warm summer did play into that. It kind of shows its hand to some degree with the severe weather.
So let's talk about 2022 for a minute, because I've seen projections, for whatever they're worth, of a warmer year. That's just what they say. It's going to be a warmer year.
Right.
Is that a kind of a safe prediction?
Unfortunately, I think that is becoming, a safer and safer prediction. Just thinking back to Chris's part in the winter special that we did last month, where he was finding that just comparing the winters here in Michigan, that just by the numbers on average are trending warmer and less snowy. I think it is getting safer and safer to say that years are going to be trending on the warmer side. Not a guarantee, but you think of how many times in the last, even 5 or 10 years, we've heard about it being globally a top 5 warmest year. Last year was the 6th warmest year, as it turns out, on record.
But yet you go back in history, some of those warm years happened in the 30s and the 20s.
True.
So you say to yourself, well, wait a minute now. Was global warming an issue then too?
Back then, I don't think it was certainly as much of an issue.
Because that was the smokestack era. I mean, we were belching garbage into the atmosphere all over the place.
True. So I think those kind of things play into it. There's overarching all of it. There is always a cyclical nature, just to how the weather and climate behave. But just with the mounting evidence we've seen, and certainly the last century, but even the last, 50, 20, 30 years, we see that upward curve kind of when it comes to years getting warmer.
So you're moving to the Carolinas, and it's a whole new climate regimen for you. You'll be a lot warmer than you are here for the most part. Is it a difficult transition? I mean, even though the systems are the same, a map's a map, is it difficult for you to do that though?
I'm trying to think back. It's been so long since I've had to do it. I didn't find, like when I came out here to Michigan, for example, I didn't find the transition to be too difficult. Maybe some of that just goes back to being a kid watching the Weather Channel all the time. I kind of had a decent grasp on geography just from doing that, watching them, do their, regional, national, so on and so forth maps.
Well, at least you were coming from the same latitude, roughly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more a case of not so much learning the map itself. It's more how does the land or the topography really influence things. We've got the Great Lakes around here. They play a huge role in how our weather behaves. Lake effect snow is the big one, but they tend to, if the lakes are cold in the summer, they tend to keep our air masses on the milder side. If the lakes run warmer, so does the air here. Heading down to Greenville, where I'm going to be based out of now, you've got kind of a 50-50 split in kind of the way the land lays in the area. Upstate South Carolina, where we broadcast, which is kind of in the tip of South Carolina, if you look at it on a map, that's hilly but not flat, versus the part of Western North Carolina that we'll be broadcasting in, that's mountains. That's up in the Blue Ridge. That's up in a part of the Smokies.
Right.
So you've got mountainous terrain versus slightly flatter, hilly terrain. So it's more learning how that plays a role in influencing the weather. That's more the challenge.
Have you been there to find housing?
Had to do a lot of that remotely. Part of that's pandemic related, but also just the time frame, that I'm working with. But I was down there in December, actually, when they had me down for my interview, and they were good enough to tour me around a little bit, show me the area in the limited time that I had rather.
All right, hang on, Brian. We'll be back for one final segment as we talk to Brian Bachman, Chief Meteorologist at WNEM-TV 5, leaving for Greenville at the end of this week.
Did you know we lose up to 20% of our home's heat through windows and... Experts at Westside Decorating show you how to keep your home cozy with insulating shades and draperies. This is Sonia. Call us today at 989-793-6182 for your in-home consultation. We'll bring samples to you or visit our showroom and see our new flooring and carpeting options. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracPhone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too, because TracPhone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show,
break out the smelling salts. We've got another Biden presser to wade through.
Robbins better get his essential oils to get him relaxed before he melts down.
Markley Van Camp and Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with Brian Bachman as he gets ready to depart TV5 on Friday. We have Barb in Bay City waiting to chat with him. Barb, you're on with Brian. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Brian, you do an awesome job.
Oh, thank you, Barb. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
And I I have a few quick questions for you. And the good thing is you have weather watchers, so we can see it's like different areas of the state. That's awesome. What does your family think about moving?
My family, I think when it became clear that this was the career path I wanted to set myself on, I think there was always an understanding that I was going to have to move away. I grew up in New Jersey. Most of my family is pretty much all still out there. So I think they just kind of knew going into it that there's probably going to be a period where I'd be moving a bit farther away or potentially moving around the country a little bit. But always something they've been very supportive of.
Did Meredith get bought out by Gray?
Yes, that was the deal that actually went through at the end of last year. All of the former Meredith stations like TV5 actually were purchased by Gray Television and were brought into that larger company. So actually, even though I'll be leaving TV5, I'll still be staying with the same company, since WHNS, Fox Carolina, where I'll be going, that actually is also part of Gray Television. So I'll be moving away, but not too far in spirit, for sure.
All right.
There you go. Well, that's awesome.
Very good, Barb.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Appreciate
Bye.
it. Bye-bye now. Where in New Jersey were you born?
I grew up, that was Brick, New Jersey, right near the shore. If anyone's ever visited there, if you know Point Pleasant, Seaside Heights, kind of right in the middle of there.
Well, I was born and raised in the Bronx. Have relatives in Reading, Pennsylvania, and we'd go to the shore once in a while, visit. So sure, you're a shore kid, huh?
Yeah, shore kid. Didn't live right on the beach, but we were maybe about 2 miles in from the ocean, so not far.
Not far at all. Not far at all. So, in terms of TV5, what are you going to remember most about it?
Oh, wow. A lot of the people that certainly that I've had the pleasure of working with over the years, but also a lot of the great folks that I've had a chance to interact with, in the community. I've had an opportunity to go to so many different great events, both for TV coverage and for, just kind of being in the audience, so having had a chance to meet so many great people at those events, just to pick a couple off the top of my head, the Party on McCarty's that I've been to, the Back to the Bricks events that we've been down there for live coverage for, a few years that I had the privilege of hosting the Saginaw Christmas Parade, meeting a lot of folks at great events like that. I think it's the people for sure.
And that's, it's interesting you bring that up, because I think a lot of people look at TV personalities. They see you on the tube and they recognize you and they know you, but they tend to forget you also live in the community. You're part of the community. You interact with people all the time. And it's something sometimes those of us in the industry have to get used to. It's there's a certain invasion of your privacy, which comes with the territory.
A little bit, but I've never found it to be uncomfortably invasive. It's folks in this community have always been very positive, very welcoming. Sure, you get razzed every time, maybe a forecast doesn't go quite the way you wanted it to, but
that's part of the weather business.
Yeah, I mean, that's true no matter where you go, but overwhelmingly it's been positive. Running into people at the grocery store, people who have been kind enough to come up and say hi and or say thank you, following a severe weather event. For us it's a job. It's, for many of us, just meteorologists, it's a hobby we've turned into a job, I think in a lot of ways. But the one thing I always try to make sure you kind of keep your eyes on is you're there to serve a community. Sure, it's basic day-to-day stuff, in a lot of cases, just how do I dress today? Do I need an umbrella today? Is it going to rain for, my barbecue this evening? But, it's also being there in the big events. When severe weather hits, it's trying to be that calming voice and getting people, hopefully to safety in events like that. It's keeping the community in mind.
Let's bring this full circle back to when you decided to become a meteorologist and you went to school for it.
Mhm.
Did you decide to be a meteorologist, or did you decide to be a TV meteorologist? Was television in your scope when you looked at it?
When I started, yeah, I always had television meteorology, in my mind going into it. That was always just something that the meteorology fascinated me as a kid, and then watching it on TV, watching the television meteorologists also do their job I always found equally fascinating and exciting. So I always just kind of knew going in that was the route I wanted to take.
Well, Brian, my friend, we're going to miss you. And we certainly wish you well in your future endeavors. And
thank you.
Let's hope that the snowstorms end in the Carolinas by the time you get there.
Yeah, let's hope so too. But Art, thanks one for having me on today. Thanks for all the great work we've done together in the years that I've been here, and most importantly of all, thanks to everyone for watching and for your kind words and support over the years. They really have meant the world to me, and I will definitely miss it here in Michigan. But we'll be back to visit plenty. My family still lives here. We're still getting married up here. That's our plan. So we'll be back.
Okay, good deal. We'll look forward to seeing you then. Brian Bachman, have a great day, and thanks for being with us, Brian.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Brian Bachman, ladies and gentlemen, moving to Greenville, Carolina at the end of this week from WNEM-TV 5, and we will miss him. We will be back to close out after these notes.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I'll pronounce you roommate.
Art, thanks again.
It's not the vow you took, but if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on Rocket Grab Plus Lounge at the Bay Valley Resort. You're going to get a $20 gift certificate for only $10. Their appetizers include fried zucchini, chicken wings, and please don't sleep on their bacon wrapped shrimp. You can also get burgers, their smokehouse chicken sandwich, and fish and chips. No matter what mood you're in, they've got you covered. Do yourself a favor and head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This is Matt Crowder live at the Shell station on 41st Street, reporting on the free gas app called Get Upside that's letting people all over the country earn cash back on every gallon of gas they buy. Excuse me, miss. Have you heard of the Get Upside gas app?
Of course. People are earning as much as 300 Upside app. It's so easy. Open the app to see nearby gas stations offering money back, pick the one you want, and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time you buy gas.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Get Upside gas app and earn up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder, Radio News Network.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to earn up to 25 cents a gallon cash back when you buy gas. Use promo code TODAY for a 50 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Get up to 75 cents a gallon cash back on your next Get Upside app and use promo code TODAY. Promo code TODAY.
It's football season again, which means it's football season again. And here at Frank's Red Hot, we put together a completely exhaustive list of essentials that will bring everyone together on game day. Essential number 1, Frank's Red Hot. I mean, come on, people, that was a given. Number 2, wings. Like, just so many wings. Okay, it looks like that's it. There's not even a third thing on the page. Do I just say the first 2 essentials again, or is that weird? Nope, just Frank's and wings? Okay, that's okay, yeah. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We thank Brian Bachman for joining us this morning. We wish him well in the Carolinas. Stick around now for Focus. We'll focus on MyMichigan Health. All of that coming up right after the news, which is next.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios.
This is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. The word from the government is 400 million N95 face masks will be in the pipeline and free next week. This healthcare worker in Washington, D.C. says it's protection as the pandemic drags on.
Having access to these free N95 masks are going to be game-changing.
And right now, a federal website is up and running to send free at-home COVID test kits. California Dr. Angelique Campen.
As a screening tool, what we're seeing is the PCR test turn positive, usually 1 to 2 days before a home test.
Well, Secretary of State Blinken is in Ukraine. CBS's Cammie McCormick has the latest on the effort to convince Russia a possible invasion of Ukraine is a bad idea.
The latest demand from Moscow is that the West stop supplying Ukraine with weapons, but in fact, the Biden administration has stepped up that assistance, and Blinken said in Kyiv it could increase even more.
Should Russia carry through with any aggressive intent and renew its aggression and invade Ukraine, we'll provide additional material beyond that is already in the pipeline and that will further aid in defending Ukraine.
Ukraine's president also says his country could participate in a NATO summit this summer. That's also likely to anger Moscow.
In the Senate, Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says there will be votes today on voting legislation and on a filibuster rule change if, as expected, the bill goes down.
Democrats are under no illusion that we face an uphill fight, especially when virtually every Republican has remained staunchly against every attempt to pass voting rights legislation.
Verizon and AT&T have rolled out 5G. Joe DePete, president of the Airline Pilots Association, worries about possible issues at some airports.
We're going to see some disruptions. There's no question about it. We want to be leaders in the world in terms of 5G, but we don't want to do it at the expense of aviation safety.
The University of Michigan has agreed to pay $490 million to more than 1,000 people who say they were sexually assaulted by a former sports doctor at the school. Dr. Robert Anderson died in 2008. A major restaurant chain calls a jury decision against it disappointing. CBS's Jim Crisula.
A jury in Marion County, Tennessee, has ordered Cracker Barrel to pay a man more than $9 million after it found the restaurant chain at fault for serving him a glass filled with a cleaning chemical instead of water. May be capped due to a Tennessee law on civil damages.
Well, checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 54 points. NASDAQ is down 1, and the S&P 500 is down 1 point. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the... Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they're accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure. Be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. So good, you gotta try it. With Straight Talk, you can get our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month. Now with unlimited high-speed data, plus 5 gigabytes hotspot data, and no contract, with nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot for your data when you can get unlimited for a whole lot less? Straight Talk Wireless. Promise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 33 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Saginaw County has begun internally providing death-related services previously done by the Michigan Institute of Forensic Science and Medicine. Here's WSGW's Rick Antonio.
After a statement by the MIFSM claiming the county hadn't paid $1,000 invoice for services, Controller Robert Bellman cleared the air on why the money wasn't paid, saying the county usually prepaid for months of medical examiner services, but had cut their contract in December after the institute had fired county board elected Dr. Russell. Bellman says Dr. Bush will be continuing his work with the county and that because of the communication between the board and the institute, there has not been any lapse in service. MMR, local police countywide, and other county offices have been aiding with services, including death investigation, body transportation, cremation permits, and more since the end of the contract last Friday. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
The State Police West Branch Post has received a new post. Lieutenant Jeffrey Short began in the position January 9th. As post commander, he is responsible for the deployments of state police resources in Aranac, Gladwin, Iosco, and Ogama counties. He'll serve on various boards and committees throughout the area. Short enlisted with the department in 2000 and graduated as a member of the 119th Trooper Recruit School. He earned an associate's degree from Delta College in applied science with a major of criminal justice. He began his career at the West Branch Post, where he served for more than 11 years as a trooper. In his 21-year career, he also held assignments at the base and Flint posts. Short is a native of Midland and lives in the West Branch Post area with his wife and daughter. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft, it's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Did you know we lose up to 20% of our home's heat through windows and doors? Let the experts at Westside Decorating show you how to keep your home cozy with insulating sheets and draperies. This is Sonia. Call us today at 989-793-6182 for your in-home consultation. We'll bring samples room and see our new flooring and carpeting options. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel is expanding on why she believes it's better for federal authorities to investigate 16 Republicans who falsely claimed they were Michigan's presidential electors. GOP officials in 7 states submitted Electoral College certificates despite Democrat Joe Biden defeating then-President Donald Trump in their states. Nessel says that from a jurisdictional standpoint, the justice was a multi-state conspiracy. Nessel cites potential difficulties interviewing people outside Michigan or using subpoena powers to bring them to the state. She also says she attended the state's Electoral College ceremony, making her a witness. Billions of dollars are available in federal COVID-19 relief funds, but they're not being distributed in the state, according to a Michigan medical organization. Here's health reporter Dr. Deanna Lights.
Michigan lawmakers have nearly $5.7 billion at their disposal through federal COVID-19 relief funds. Funds that could be used for everything from PPE to testing, vaccinations, and to help with healthcare staff. But state lawmakers aren't spending the resources, according to the Michigan State Medical Society. Dr. Pino Colon is the president of the organization.
We're unfortunately running into some political disagreements among the sides, and I think that's part of what's holding this up. We just want to take care of our patients. We want to take care of our physicians, our nursing staff, all of our workers to make sure that we have what we need to do our jobs.
Grand Valley State University is expanding its free tuition to allow low-income families allow all low-income families in Michigan. The program, called the Grand Valley Pledge, to only students from 6 counties. New students from families with income under $50,000 can qualify. Around 400 students who qualified were enrolled during the fall term. GVSU President Philomena Mantella says she doesn't want finances to be a barrier for students. The U of M has a similar program for in-state students from the families that make $65,000 or less. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. We'll see a few spotty flurries possible late today. Otherwise, cloudy sky conditions. Temperatures steady early, then slow. Breezy west winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions. We'll see a low around 9 above. By Thursday, partial sunshine develops, a high of 18 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly sunny skies and a high around 21. Saturday, partial sunshine develops, a high of 25 degrees. Then by Sunday, partial sunshine, a high of 21. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 32.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Focus from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. Our program brought to you this morning by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. And this morning we're going to focus on MyMichigan Health, and we're going to do that with Dr. Sunita Vadakath. She is the Senior Vice President, Chief Strategy Officer of MyMichigan Health. And Dr. Vadakath, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. It's a pleasure being with you and your audience.
Thank you. First of all, I have to ask, did I get your name correct?
You did.
Oh, good. Before we get into some of the new investments, particularly in the area of cancer that MyMichigan Health is going to be making, I have to ask this question as a chief strategy officer. How do you strategize for COVID-19 or other pandemics? Is it something that's even in the wheelhouse? Can you do that?
You know, that's an excellent question. As you know, the healthcare community and all of us actually have been taken by surprise by this pandemic. So though we weren't at that time strategizing for a pandemic, since over the past 2 years, and so definitely that is in our strategic thinking currently. When you think in terms of staffing, you think in terms of something even as simple as visitor regulations that need to be put in place to keep our patients and their families safe and our staff. So a lot of that is now getting into our strategic planning processes, and we hope to be better prepared. Of course, we do not want another pandemic, but definitely better prepared the next time.
Did it change the way hospitals operate?
Yes, I do think it did. It actually forced us to look at a couple of issues, that we faced during this pandemic. The big ones being supply chain issues, and then, of course, staffing. And over the past 2 years, we have been more nimble. We have been more creative in trying to address both of those and making sure that we have the resources that are needed to take care of our patients. So I would say, yes, we have had some changes in those areas.
Has there been any decrease in people wanting to go into healthcare, particularly in the areas of registered nurses and people like that? Difficult to find them?
Yes, and I think it's a combination of factors. I think as a society as a whole, we have been under stress over the last couple of years, and that's definitely extended into the healthcare providers. Not surprisingly, they have been at the front line looking after all of our patients, and there's a high degree of stress there. So yes, I think, and we all hope temporarily that it's just a temporary. Some questions about, when you're considering that as a career choice, whether that is the best fit. But we do hope that is only temporary. I think at the end of the day, a lot of us are here to serve our patients, and that spirit still exists and is strong amongst the healthcare community.
Well, thank you for letting me drag you on to a different topic. So we'll get back to what we want to talk about this morning, because MyMichigan Health is making quite a cancer investment. Tell us about those plans. What are you going to be doing?
Yeah, it's a very exciting project, $5 million construction project to build a comprehensive cancer center on the campus of our Midland MyMichigan Medical Center. So, we have all known someone who's been touched by cancer. So our vision for this comprehensive cancer center is to bring all of those cancer services and care under one roof, creating a really strong patient experience, making sure that the environment in which that care is delivered is comfortable with amenities and surrounded by some nice warm finish. Making sure we have the space for multiple specialists to see the patient on the same day, collaborate, and then provide the patients with, appointments in under one roof.
Most of the hospitals seem to align with some form of a cancer institute someplace. Is MyMichigan Health aligned with any one of them?
So we have our affiliation with the University of Michigan Health System, Michigan Medicine. So obviously they are a very strong program for cancer as well, and that affiliation and partnership will stand us in good stead.
All right, hang on. I have to take a break. Dr. Vedakath, I'll be back in just a couple of moments. We're talking to Dr. Sunita Vedakath from MyMichigan Health, and more ahead here on Focus.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a RoofMax shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with RoofMax, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
What's next?
I'm thinking just the check.
Do you frequently have gas, bloating, diarrhea, stomach pain, or loose oily stools after eating? One or more of these symptoms could be a sign of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, and it may be time to talk to your doctor.
If you have EPI, Creon may be right for you. Creon, pancrelipase, is an oral prescription medication that treats EPI. Creon replaces enzymes you may be missing to help you break down food properly.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Do not chew capsules or contents, as this may cause mouth irritation. Tell your doctor if you have unusual or severe stomach pain, bloating, trouble passing stool, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, worsening of painful swelling. Other side effects may include changes in blood sugars, gas, dizziness, or sore throat and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Talk to your doctor about Creon, the #1 prescribed EPI treatment, and visit gocreon.com. That's GOCREON.com, or call 1-800-633-9110.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WNEM. Now there's another option, Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information. hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
You are in the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center studios of 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on Focus, talking to Dr. Sunita Vadakath. She is the Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer of MyMichigan Health in Midland. And she is also responsible for business development, strategy, and marketing. So along with the new cancer center, do we get a new oncology surgeon too?
Yes, we do. We are focusing on surgical oncologists. So these are specialist surgeons who use surgery to treat cancer. This could be, minimally invasive surgery, whether that's of the stomach, the upper GI. It could be thoracic surgery that we are really focusing our attention on.
Hey, you talk about treatments. Have we done better with cancer? I mean, there's been so much research over the years. Are there a lot of new treatments now that offer a lot of hope for cancer patients?
Yes, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of advances that's going on in the field of cancer, whether that's in the surgical arena or whether that's in terms of newer medications, newer chemotherapy that's come into play. So I do think it's a hard-won battle against cancer, but there is a lot of progress being made.
And let's talk for a moment about this new building. What is it going to offer?
So we're going to have the building house all of the cancer services. So what that truly means is that you would have all of your radiation oncology, your medical infusion services, the different surgical and medical specialists holding their clinics under that roof. We cardiac rehabilitation, genetic counselors, nutritionists, mental health professionals, financial counseling, all of them under that same roof.
Now, MyMichigan Health has tentacles elsewhere in the state. Do these services transport? Are you going to have cancer services in some of your other sites, or are the cancer patients going to have to come into the main hospital area?
So MyMichigan Health focuses on making sure that we provide care as close to home as possible to our patients, appropriate care as close to home. So what that means is services at all of our other locations. We would look at the Comprehensive Cancer Center to provide that higher level or advanced cancer care that you would not have in some of those communities. And that's why we are focusing specifically on surgical oncology. Because, for example, we would have a thoracic surgeon who is housed in Midland, and a community in Clare or West Branch may not have a thoracic surgeon in their community, but they would be able to travel to Midland and avail of that service.
And how long would you estimate before this building is finished and available?
So our plan is to have the construction begin in spring of this year, and we would be completed by summer of 2024.
Well, Dr. Vadakath, I want to thank you for bringing us up to date on it and also answering questions about COVID that I surprised you with up front. But we thank you much for being with us this morning, and we'll have to do it again sometime as the Cancer Center gets closer to completion.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Dr. Sunita Vadakath, who is the Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer for MyMichigan Health. She's also responsible for business development, strategy, and marketing. We thank her for joining us on Focus this morning. We'll be back to close out after these notes.
Frosty frogs, icy elephants, gleaming dragons, celebrating 31 years of winter with shining sculptures of sparkling horses, glossy penguins, and shimmering bears. Get ready to be dazzled when